The last principle for healthy eating for athletes is moderation. There are three things that we need to consider for moderating in our diet. The first is sugar. And when I say sugar, I mean added sugars. Sugars that are put into foods like candy or cakes or donuts, so forth. The next is fat. In terms of fats, many fats are essential. So we've got to have fat in our diet, but there are some fats that we would like to reduce in our diets, particularly for athletic performance. The fats to reduce in our diet are animal fats or saturated fats. And lastly, athletes need to be aware of their salt intakes, their sodium intakes. And depending on the athlete, you'll have to be cautious with adding salt. So first of all, what do I mean by moderation? Moderation doesn't mean avoiding animal fats or saturated fats. Moderation means keeping saturated fats under 10% of your total caloric intakes. Perhaps the most healthy number would be less than 7% of your daily calories should be coming from saturated fats. And most of your saturated fats are going to be coming from meat products or processed meat products. So we want to keep those meat products and processed meat products to under 10% of our daily caloric intake. Mono and polyunsaturated fats, that's oils, in our diet, are really healthy and in fact are heart healthy and help performance. So it's important to get fat in your diet. You would like to be choosing oils, things like olive oil or canola oil or corn oil and so forth are really healthy choices. And those, you should be directing yourself away from those animal fats, those fats that are hard at room temperature like butter, and more towards mono and polyunsaturated fats. Those are oils, the things that are liquid at room temperature. Salt is tricky for athletes. The amount of salt that you need is quite individual. It depends a great deal on your sweat rate and the temperature that you're exercising at. Now, the USDA recommends that people keep sodium intakes to less than 2,300 milligrams per day. Most Americans are consuming well over 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams of sodium per day, which is too much. However, athletes, depending on their sweat losses, the amount of salt they lose in their sweat, may actually need higher sodium intakes than the minimum USDA requirements. Nevertheless, you should not consume too much salt. If you consume too much salt, it can increase blood pressure, and increasing blood pressure, elevating blood pressure, can impact performance. And lastly, moderation, sugar. When I'm talking about moderating sugars, we're talking about moderating simple sugars. Simple sugars are important for athletes. They're really important on competition day, and simple sugars can be used as part of a recovery or fueling strategy during workouts. But sugars should not be consumed all day, every day. In fact, sugars should be moderated. Added sugars should be moderated and kept to below 10% of total kilocalories each day.